These results would be devastating. Revelation 8, 10, and 11 says that many people will die from drinking bitter water that's become unsafe, a direct consequence of a star hitting the earth. The title of this star is really meaningful. Here's what it says. And the Lord saith, because they have forsaken my law, which I set for them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart, and after Balaam, their fathers taught them, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. Gall means poison. This is in Jeremiah 9:13. It says, therefore saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, poison water, give water of gall to drink. A scientist predicted in the early 80s, a few geologists and geoscientists accepted the theory that giant asteroids the size of mountains have impacted our planet before. Today, with the help of computers and satellites and better equipment, scientists have discovered enormous impact sites all over the earth. And it's funny how scientific discovery can reverse long-standing conclusions in a short amount of time. Because of the notion that the Earth has been pummeled by giant asteroids were regarded as lunacy. In 1978, a geologist, Dr. Alvarez from Berkeley, who advanced the idea that dinosaurs became extinct due to the giant asteroids that hit the Earth millions of years ago. From the United States Geological Survey, among the first geoscientists to conclude that the Earth has been impacted by large asteroids all along. The idea was really controversial in the 70s. Well, it's accepted today because overwhelming evidence. When the Shoemaker Levy 9 broke up and impacted Jupiter's surface in 1994, all of the arguments ended. One impact site on Jupiter was wide enough to comfortably accommodate two planets the size of Earth side by side. That's how this impact site was. So geoscientists are convinced our planet has experienced horrific impacts from large asteroids. Because erosion constantly changes the face of the Earth, that it was difficult to detect impact craters until the 70s. Even more, 65% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, making it almost impossible to see impacts that have hit the oceans. Scientists have identified more than 150 land craters caused by asteroid and meteorite impacts. These large craters are found in Canada, South Africa, the eastern coast of Mexico. Each of these craters has a diameter of 120 to 150 miles, which is probably why it's so hard to see with the naked eye. You can see it from satellites with satellite pictures, where you can see huge giant craters. When you're standing on the Earth, you can't see 150 miles in a single direction to see the outline of these giant craters. And we know that the Earth's crust is constantly changing. Archaeological digs, they always have to dig down to find ancient centuries because as time goes on, debris fills these things in, cosmic dust and Earth debris shifting around the Earth, just kind of like shifting sands, these things just slowly fill in. But these ones that are huge, if they're 120, 150 miles across, I mean, these are not going to fill in quite as easy. This also may explain some of the strange crater-like things, in places like Utah. Where the people in Utah say, well, this used to be an ocean, the bed of an ocean. That's why it's the way it is. Well, why is it only in Utah? That wasn't a very big ocean, was it? I mean, wouldn't that be more of a giant lake? I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but I'll say this, that it raises the question. And that's what I want to do, is raise the question. The largest known crater in the U.S. is about 18 miles wide. It's in Mason, Iowa. There's all kinds of craters that are sprinkled all over. There's a meteor crater in Arizona. According to Richard Grieve, a scientist with the Geological Survey of Canada, says the tiny iron meteorite, which caused meteor crater in Arizona, was less than 200 feet in diameter. It weighed approximately 1 million tons. It hit the Earth traveling about 35,000 miles an hour. It released energy equivalent to the most powerful nuclear device available today. Meteor crater is about 2/3 of a mile wide, 640 feet deep. That's a crater. The National Geographic proposed a scenario. Here's what they said. A giant meteor strikes Earth, setting the planet afire. Volcanoes erupt. Tsunamis crash into the continents. The sky grows dark for months because of the debris, maybe years. Unable to cope with the catastrophic changes in climate, countless species are wiped off the face of the planet. This article goes on to suggest that great fires resulting from an asteroid would destroy crops and trees and vegetation. Even worse, windstorms created by the fires would destroy buildings hundreds of miles from impact. Dust and smoke from the fires would find their way into the jet stream and block out the sun's light. They said this would alter the world's climate. It would also alter the chance of the world's humans surviving. If it wipes out our food, it poisons the water, and there is no light. People are not prepared. You might not even be able to prepare for something like this. So will it impact the Earth again? Do we have this coming in our future? Well, of course we do. So it's inevitable. The Earth's gravitational field will attract one or several of the celestial bodies, whatever they are, asteroids or meteorites. Some of these be as big as being 10 miles across. Some are so tiny that you pick them up and hold them in your hand. A lot of times, they never even hit the Earth at all. They calculate that asteroid 1989 FT, which is what they named it, missed the Earth by only 6 hours on March 23rd, 1989. They also maintain that it's highly probable that it will return at some point in the future and be even closer to Earth. And what's surprising about asteroid 1989 FC, it was not detected until after it passed by Earth. We've been hearing a lot about this lately, where there's asteroids and meteors that are headed our way that scientists don't even know about. There was a small asteroid in 2001. It was called YB5. It passed Earth on January 7, 2002. It was 1,000 feet in diameter. Missed the Earth by twice the distance between the Moon and the Earth. Now, this may sound like a safe distance, but, the asteroid was traveling toward us at 70,000 miles an hour. In other words, it missed impact on Earth by just a few hours. They say that this asteroid will revisit our place in space in about 3 years and 7 months. There's a document at NASA that says that the Earth's closest miss with an asteroid has been only a matter of minutes. One asteroid whizzed within 62,000 miles of Earth. Did you know about it? Why aren't they telling us about these things? Are they trying to avoid panic? Why are they holding this away from us? Scientists say this is inevitable, that we will be hit by asteroids that could be large enough to cause mass extinction. And the Bible says that's also going to happen. The question for me is this Wormwood? Is this Planet X? You know, there's a fine line between the conspiracy theories and between the truth. How are we going to define that line and what is real and what it's not? When people come out and say that this was going to happen in 2003, or they come out and say that it was going to happen on December 21st of 2012, they call hysteria. They have all kinds of predictions. These things don't come to pass. You know, pretty soon at some point, and I think we're at the point where we as people around the world are tired of hearing people cry wolf. Well, what happened in the story of the boy who cried wolf? He cried wolf so many times that people just started ignoring him. Then when the wolf actually came and he cried wolf, nobody came to help. Why? Because he'd cried wolf so many times. We need to stop crying wolf and start dealing with the truth here. Because the world, humanity, is only going to deal with these people crying wolf so many times. Let's start dealing with the truth. Of course, I know that's not going to happen. Conspiracy theorists are out there, and they're going to keep this kind of thing up, and they're going to continue to be proven wrong. Is this something that we should worry about? Now, if you're not a Christian, then I would suggest that you can still use our instruction manual, the Bible, as a credible source for past events, current events, and future events. It hasn't been wrong yet. So you don't have to be a Christian to open up the book and see what's going to happen. This is pretty simple, it's pretty clear-cut, and it's valid. And that's the point, is it's valid. And if you read it in its entirety, you'll have a good understanding of what they're talking about when they use some of this symbolic language. You're going to need to be able to understand what's literal and what's symbolic. You know, scientists have known for years asteroids and meteorites hit the Earth and Moon in predictable patterns. There are some predictable patterns. In fact, if asteroid 1989 FC had hit the Earth, an expert at NASA's Solar System Exploration Division calculated it would have released an equivalent of 20,000 hydrogen bombs. If it had hit a metropolitan area like Tokyo or Los Angeles or New York, millions of people would have died instantly. Instantly. They would have been vaporized on impact. We've been lucky. Most meteorites have impacted the Earth have been small. They've been relatively without significant consequences. But the media reports fireballs and meteorites regularly. There was a report on November 22nd, 1996, where a small meteorite impacted Honduras, created a crater of 150 feet in diameter. What just happened in Russia when that hit? Look, these things happen all of the time. In the biblical last days, think about that very same thing. The one that hit Honduras, 150 feet in diameter, the one that hit in Russia. Think about this happening in a third of the Earth, where we actually have this impact in a third of the Earth. What if this impact is from something, like I said before, that might be a spin-off from this brown dwarf star, might be iron. If you have something the size of a mountain that's made of iron, and it's coming at us at 60, 70,000 miles an hour, and it's got this red tail of oxidation behind it, slams into the Earth or slams into the water, there's going to be instant, massive death. The Bible tells us this is going to happen. It doesn't say that it's going to be a spin-off from Planet X, but it does say this is going to happen. And when it happens, the sun, the moon, and the stars are going to go dark because the debris from this is going to be extraordinary. Here's what it says in Revelation 8:12.